Why did God make man? For this talk, I assume God has been acknowledged, and I am going to be selecting out the Christian perspective. Now look here, Mr. Christian. If you don't know what you are doing with your time on earth, are you being a good example for those who are unbelievers? Why did God make man? What is our purpose? Well, if you believe in God, and if you believe in the Bible, the answer is rather simple, actually. Mr. Christian, why are you confused about this? Revelations 4:11. Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created. You see, we are to live to please God, which makes perfect sense. Be grateful to your Creator. Without Him, you wouldn't be here. Now, for those who don't believe in God, well, now there is a problem. But at least they have an excuse for being uncertain. Because any answer they have is necessarily going to be selfish or subjective. And the end is rather bleak. If death has no conqueror, what hope have they? No wonder so many people who do not believe in God live in despair. But you, Mr. Christian, those who accept God's everlasting gift of life in His Son, we can have joy for life everlasting. So for those believing in God, what do we do? I find it a little surprising that so many believers struggle with what to do with their lives, or in their lives, or on this earth. But then again, does it matter? So Isaiah 43:21. This people have I formed for myself, they shall show forth my praise. Look, as long as we are praising and glorifying God, we have the right motivation. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So do your job, your recreation, your play, on this earth, Mr. Christian, in the service of God, honoring and abiding His commandments. The idea is simple. Now, can you do it flawlessly? No, you can't. Not without fault somewhere. We aren't perfect. But that is the reason for Jesus, who gave Himself for us that He might redeem us from all iniquity and purify unto Himself a peculiar people, zealous of good works. That is Titus 2:14. So in society, in our culture, followers of Christ, we are to do good works for God's glory. For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus unto good works, which God hath before ordained that we should walk in them. That's Ephesians 2:10. Good works, Mr. Christian. There has been an ongoing argument about good works in the church. Have you not heard it? Do good works, Mr. Christian. Do good works. You should want to. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? That is in the Bible, James 2:20. Have good works, Mr. Christian. We wouldn't want to appear as hypocrites, now would we? We ought to honor God. We ought to serve God. How do you plan to do so without good works? Let the world see the light and love of Jesus in us. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. That's Matthew 5:15. What should we do with our lives? It's right there in the Bible. Have you read it, Mr. Christian?